Today did not go according to plan. This is the usual for me. I planned to make a run to IKEA and to the art supply store and to go pick up an orchid, and I did zero of those three things. I started the day really slow and easy, reading, planning out my day, writing a little in my journal, which was really nice. That's a very newish thing for me to do. I normally only do it when I'm in crisis, and I feel today was probably one of the few times I've written where I was not in crisis. Yeah, I had it all in my head what was going to happen. I always go to the coffee shop first. I like to sit and read there. And I feel like starting there just by myself and having a coffee out of my house and reading a little bit more is a really nice way to kick off my errands. But I was affected with a little bit of an anxiety spell while I was there. So I ended up just coming back home, and here we are. I feel a little better now. I don't know what was going on. I mean, I know what was going on. Anxiety is annoying. Anyway, one of the big sources of anxiety for me, and this is so trivial, and I get mad at myself for feeling anxious about it. Anyway, it's my room. It's the furniture, how my room's decorated, how the house is decorated, all of this stuff. I just have never felt like, in my entire life, even when I was a kid, I've never felt like my personal space is the exact way I want it to look. And I don't know if everybody just feels that way, or if most people don't care or feel like they can really settle into a place very well and have it the way they want. One of the things I was going to do was get a new matting for the big Roy Lichtenstein piece, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's just like a piece of thin paper behind it, and it's very wrinkly because I've had it for probably a decade. It's time to get real matting for it, although I do really like that frame. It's just this stainless steel frame from IKEA from probably 2009. I got it when I was in high school, which is so crazy. So I wanted to get new matting for that. Drove by the art supply store, and they were having this huge event there hosting free classes, so there was no parking. It was probably the last day I should have ever tried to have gone to the store. I just didn't know that was happening. So whatever. I drove past it, didn't end up getting the matting, and I just don't want that to prevent me from moving things around. So what I'm going to do is move around some of the art in my room more of the way that I want it, take down some things that I don't really want hanging anymore. That's what I'm about to get up to. It's actually very stormy here. It is thundering. And it's really gray. So I have my lights turned on, actually have my desk lamp pointed this way so I'm not sitting in this dark shadow talking about art. It's really cozy. So I'm going to light a candle. I actually got this candle. Let me see. I got this candle from one of those Marshalls type stores. Could have been Marshalls, could have been TJ Maxx. I don't really go to those places very often, but when I need a new candle, I definitely go there. They're just so inexpensive. Why wouldn't you get a candle from there? Anyway, this one is by M of WG brand, and it's called Dune. I don't think that will be in focus, and the font is probably too small to even read it, but it smells so good. It smells like the perfume Jazz Club by Republica? I don't know stuff about perfumes, but I do really like that perfume. And this smells like it until you light it. When you light it, it starts smelling like a musky teenage boy's room. But this is what I have. So I'm going to light this, and I'm going to like it. And then I'm going to, see what the scoop is with all my artwork. Who knows what the day is going to turn into? Not me. That's for sure. I got no idea. I did it. One down. This is the piece of artwork I need to actually get matted, professionally matted, because this is just a piece of poster board behind it. And I think I already talked about this like 15 minutes ago, my memory. But anyway, so this will be coming down again, hopefully soon, and getting re-matted so it'll look a little nicer. I think it's a little weird to have it with this monitor in front of it. I think if this monitor, I have to use an external monitor for my job, or else there's no way I can do my job just on my little laptop. And you know what? Technology is cool. So I'm just not going to worry about that. This is what it's going to look like. And then I think, let me not be in the way. On this wall here, I really want to get some sort of something to put my record player and my records on. That was supposed to be my IKEA trip today. I was going to get the Bagoda, I think, shelf table. And I was going to do two of them side by side. I saw on Pinterest that somebody had done that for their records, and it looks really good. And those are wide enough, like deep enough for my record player to actually fit on it. I find that's the problem most of the time, is my record player is just a little bit too big to fit the normal like console table depth. So those would work out perfectly. I'm just not sold on them. It's not that I don't like them. It's just my space already feels, I got the same color scheme going on everywhere. I got a lot of wood tones, which I'm sick of. Other than that, it's like wood and white and black. And not in a way that I really like, because I really like all those colors, and that's what I wear most of the time anyway. But I'm not really sold on the color scheme here. So I feel like adding those, because it's white and chrome, will just, I don't know, blend too much into the room. I don't know what to do.
Very own noodle shop from acclaimed author Ellen Lewis. It's like a post-apocalyptic world in the near future. It takes place in San Francisco.
It is the next day. I ended up finishing hanging the things I wanted to yesterday around the room. My whole plan for chatting and making a video was to talk about a swampy summer, swamp girl summer. That's my life all the time living in Florida, but especially obviously this time of year, it is so swampy. And I'm in Central Florida, and it just, I feel like, is the armpit of Florida. I really love sweating and being hot as long as I'm prepared for it. So if I know I'm going to be outside getting just like sweaty and dirty, I totally love that. I just want to be mentally prepared for it and wear clothes that I don't necessarily care about, make sure I'm drinking a ton of water. So one of my goals for this summer was to actually hike more, and I use that very lightly because there's not a lot of elevation in my area. So a Florida hike is really just walking on trails and state parks and nature preserves. There is one about 25-30 minutes away from me that's really cool, and it's honestly not too swampy, it's more woodsy. And I planned to go on a dusk hike last night, and it's actually been super stormy here. It's pouring right now. So I didn't end up doing that. So I'm going to do that next weekend. But it just made me think about how I think especially this year, I've realized what being outside and sweating like that really does for my brain. It's really great. It's really good therapy for me. And there are a couple of songs that I listen to that just make me so happy because they make me want to be out in nature. One of them is really on the nose with the name. It's called Swamp Song by Fermin. I really love Fermin. They're definitely a band where I love some of their songs and then totally am 0% into some of their songs. I never know what I'm going to get with them. So it's hard for me to like fully recommend them as a band. The song Swamp Song, I am obsessed with it. And it's, if I'm taking it literally, the song seems like it's about a little kid who maybe isn't the most popular in school and can't wait to get home from school so he can put on his boots and go into the swamp and catch bugs. And I think it's so cute, and the song makes me so happy to listen to it. Just the way the melody is, the way they're singing in it, it's so happy. It just makes me want to stomp around in the swamp collecting bugs. I don't know how else to explain it. I think you should listen to it and see what I mean. And then there's another song that I talked about. I don't think I specified this song, but it's by Coach Kit, who I talked about in my last video. She's amazing. She has a song called Sun Swim that just makes me so happy. It's just about being out in the sun in nature, playing on the beach, kind of slice of life it feels like, and it's very carefree. And I think those types of songs are so important to listen to because it's just like every song is about the same thing these days. Not to go off on a tangent, but every song that's popular on the radio, it's about love or money or a combination of the two things. I think it's really refreshing to listen to music that doesn't have to do with any of those things or isn't necessarily centered around those things. And these two songs are centered around love, but the love of nature and just like being alive and being in the elements. And they do my brain a lot of good to listen to those songs. I was actually just watching, it says today is Sunday when I'm recording this. A lot of the people that I love watching on YouTube usually upload on Sundays. And so I was just catching up on a couple of videos. Kat Karras, I love her videos. She is definitely a book-centric YouTuber, and I just love her style, aesthetic. It's very dark, gloomy, cozy, and she actually, in the vlog I just watched, I had already planned to talk about the book Annihilation and the book series itself. She normally reads like romantasy, and so I was really caught off guard to know, okay, after I catch up on watching my YouTube, I'm gonna record and talk about Annihilation. And in the video, she started reading and finished Annihilation, which I thought was just really weird. And then another YouTuber I like watching, Sarah Gray, she talked specifically about how being in the sun and being sweaty is basically like therapy for her. And I was like, that is exactly what I was going to talk about. It was kind of cool to feel very in tune and know that there are other people that relate to how I'm feeling. But when I was listening to Sarah Gray talk about needing to be in the sun and being sweaty and how that's helpful for her, I realized for me, especially in Florida, it is really, really humid and the air is really thick. And it's almost like a weighted blanket for me to have that like humidity kind of just like weighed down on me if I am ready for it. It can also be really suffocating at times if I'm not appreciating it and not in a place where I am dressed for it or expected it. There is an orchid shop in town, and I love going there because walking in there is like walking into a greenhouse, and I feel like I get hit with that earthy, thick, musky air, and just breathing that in calms me down so much. I really love doing that. So I actually went there today. I planned to go there yesterday, did not end up happening. I went there today and I bought an orchid, which is gonna go on my side table here. But anyway, let's talk about Annihilation. I love this book series. Okay, Annihilation, also known as, Annihilation is the name of the first book in the trilogy. It's the Southern Reach trilogy, and actually the author, Jeff Vandermeer, released a prequel, making a fourth in what was a trilogy. So I'm not really sure what we're calling it. Series? Let's see. But I have all the books here. You'll notice there are 5. I have a duplicate copy, and I will explain why. So actually, this is Absolution. This is the one Jeff Vandermeer just came out with in October 2024. Okay, it just says Absolution, a Southern Reach novel. So the original trilogy was Annihilation, Authority, and Acceptance. The 3 of them. And I love these covers to them. Jeff Vandermeer went on a book tour and stopped by my local library prior to the release of Absolution, the 4th book. It's also been 10 years since the release of Annihilation, and so when they released this, they also did a 10-year anniversary version of the trilogy. So those books look like this, which is probably what you would see in a bookstore now, since that's the newest copy. When I went to see him speak, a friend got me this for Christmas, but I bought another copy of Annihilation, and I had him sign it, which was really cool. And I had him sign my original Annihilation copy. So Annihilation, and then it says, "The truth is in here." It's pretty cool. I really love this trilogy. I have not read Absolution, the 4th one yet, but I very slowly worked through the original trilogy. I read Annihilation a couple years ago, and then last Thanksgiving time, last fall, I finally read the 2nd book, Authority, and then back in the spring, around April, I read Acceptance. And honestly, out of the 3, Acceptance ended up being my favorite. I thought it was so beautiful. The way that he wrote everything was just gorgeous. I didn't underline anything. I never even thought about having a pen or a pencil with me when I was reading this when I first started, and I wish I did, because it was just gorgeous the way that he writes and the way he describes nature. The reason I've been thinking about these books is because these books and finishing the series and reading this one specifically really made me want to be walking around in a swamp, which is so weird because this book, the concept of the entire trilogy is, I feel like it's basically how we are humans in nature's world, and that really shows in these books. Like, the terrain is the danger to the humans, on top of everything else that's going on, and it's sci-fi. So anyway, I really enjoyed reading these. It made me really want to be in nature around me. The main character in these books is a biologist. She is an incredibly science and logic-minded person. Emotions are definitely not on the forefront of how she thinks and how she speaks and how she reacts. Hearing how she interacts with the nature around her as a biologist who is appreciating every tiny little organism with such respect, it was just really, really beautiful. So anyway, I had already previously owned these 3 original copies. I got Annihilation signed, and then I bought, while I was at the book signing, the 10th anniversary Annihilation, and also got this signed, and it came with this cool little postcard. It's like map of Area X, which also, one of the reasons I definitely feel inspired by this is because this entire book trilogy was inspired by a specific state park, I think it's state park, not national park, in the Florida Panhandle that Jeff Vandermeer would hike all the time. It was really cool hearing him talk about that place and how much it inspired him. And I mean, he would be stomping around in the actual swamp with a lot of dangerous animals. That's really what Area X is like. So I highly recommend reading this series if you are even remotely into sci-fi. But yeah, it just is so swampy out here, and right now it's just rainy and cozy, and we get the heat lightning and the afternoon thunderstorms, and that's just the epitome of a Florida summer. So I've really been enjoying it. Actually, the other night it stormed so bad that our power went out, and was out for a couple of hours actually. I ended up watching Rear Window, Alfred Hitchcock, and it was just perfect because it was rainy, it was dark outside, I was cozied up, eating a little frozen pizza. Honestly, the power was flickering, which was really interesting to watch a scary movie with the power flickering and having a storm outside. It was perfect, cozy vibes. Maybe I'll do that again tonight. Maybe put on another Alfred Hitchcock movie. They have them all on Netflix right now. Well, I don't know if all of them, but I saw a few of them. Anyway, I need to get that orchid. Probably need to repot it and put it on the nightstand here. So I'm gonna get off the bed and do that. I've been sitting down for a little too long. My butt hurts. It's about to storm. It's been very stormy recently. Every day there's been a crazy thunderstorm. I realized I went MIA between the last time I recorded anything and now. It's been a little while. I since have gotten a sunburn here today. We went to some friends and I went to a community pool, and to be honest, community pools seemed like something that only existed in movies, like old 80s movies for me. That just was not a part of my life growing up. And so finding out that that is a thing that communities have is amazing. We had a great time. I put sunscreen on and reapplied an insane amount of times, and I still am. I just get sunburned really easily on my chest and shoulders and on my face. I feel maybe there's just no preventing it. This morning, before pool time, my friends and I actually went to a wildlife rescue that was having a grand reopening. So I got to see so many cute animals, and it just made my morning seeing there's this giant tortoise, 2 vultures. Anyway, all of that to say is one of my goals this year was to be outdoors more, be out in nature more. You know, I've been talking about the swamp vibes, and so I feel like I'm really achieving that. I ended up going out on a hike in a nature preserve, but it was just really great, and it actually made me think there was one more song that I wanted to mention that makes me feel very one with nature, and it's actually a Dolly Parton song, and the way I found out about it is this guy, Kishi Bashi, I hope I say that right, Kishi Bashi, he covered it, and it's called Early Morning Breeze by Dolly Parton. I heard the Kishi Bashi version first. It's just so beautiful. It's so nice. It's about walking through the meadow in the early morning breeze, and it's just beautiful. So that's a really nice song to listen to when you just want to listen to something really nice about nature and not about pop culture. I find those songs just so lovely. I know I already talked about that, so I won't drone on. Also, since the last time I recorded, I did end up getting an orchid, which is behind me. Over here, can you see? It's yellow. It made me really happy. Going to the orchid place made me happy, like I mentioned. It just feels so earthy in there and musky, and I'm just overcome with so much oxygen. But yeah, I'm actually gonna go. I have some friends coming over in a little bit. We're doing a martini night. I picked up all the ingredients after the pool time. We love martinis, and we love a classic traditional martini. Vodka or gin with dry vermouth, olive brine, dirty. We love it all. Big night ahead of me. I am so happy to be hanging out with my friends. They're lovely, and I love having them over. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna pop on some music. I've still been really listening to the playlist I made, the Outside Sunny playlist. I'm probably gonna put that on while I prep for martini night and enjoy the afternoon thunderstorm, put some aloe on my poor shoulders. It's gonna be great.